to kick things off. Thank you so much, Cindy, for hosting us and having us today from Ringling. Would you like to share anything before I go into all my spiels?
Yes, just briefly because I want them to have time with you. But I say thank you for joining us today. Students who have applied and been hired have each made about $500 each, and so they can continue to do that. And what a great way to learn their competencies, communication, critical thinking. So it's not just the job and then something for their resume and their portfolio, but also all the other skills that we want the students to be able to have before they graduate. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy, for having us, and it's our privilege to count Ringling as one of our 800 partner colleges and universities. So special thank you to the invitation to speak with you and your employers today. One thing that I do want to note before we get started is that this session is very much focused on employers and helping employers make better hiring decisions based on real-time candidate engagement and skills data, so you can build relationships with individuals, especially students at Ringling, who could be future summer interns or full-time hires, or maybe even just some other part of your team. So if any students or recent grads have accidentally made your way to this webinar, feel free to exit on out of here, and we can direct you to one that is more suitable for your needs as a career launcher. My name is Annie Uzar, and I am the Associate Director of Partner Programs here at Parker Dewey, and I'm excited to talk with you all about today micro-internships and experiential recruiting, what it is, how to get involved, why this works, and also how to introduce this to your organization. And don't worry, we will be recording this session and sending it out to everybody after this. So if you're unable to fully dedicate your brain power to this right now, I understand it's lunchtime, eat your lunch, live your life, and we'll make sure to send this out so you can, of course, share this with anybody else on your team who couldn't attend, all of that wonderful stuff. And of course, if you have any questions along the way, please do share them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. So today we're going to cover how companies are starting the recruiting season with a pipeline of candidates that align to their goals. And to be clear, this is the opposite of stacks of one-click applications, right? That stack of resumes that you're receiving. These are candidates who are truly excited about your opportunities, kind of really funneled in on exactly those skills matching and needs-based hiring. We're going to talk about how to attract candidates who would be perfect but are maybe getting missed. Again, application avalanche is happening, but most of our employers have been saying this, that this is the way to attract candidates that are somehow falling through the pipes. We're going to see what top employers are doing right now to improve their sourcing and selection process, and doing so while unlocking time spent that you would have been flipping through resumes, maybe even hosting phone screen calls, really making sure to be able to maximize your time. This will also help to strengthen relationships with campus partners. We're huge believers of the relationships built between employers and campuses like Ringling. You took the time to build and nurture those relationships, and they're incredibly valuable. So we want to help you with continuing to strengthen them to help you stand out as an employer, that students want to come join your organization, but also help the schools learn how they can better support you throughout the process too. And finally, we're going to use data to guide decisions while it still counts, right? No data that's coming too late or that you can't directly use to impact conversations with everybody. This data is actionable, and it's data that not only helps you with this recurring execution of the recruiting process, but it also matters to a lot of decision makers at your organization, the CHROs, CFOs, COOs, our C alphabet soups tend to care about numbers, right? We all do. But this is wonderful data that you can share with your larger team. So as a quick background, Parker Dewey has been around for almost a decade. Since our founding, we're 100% focused on creating real experiential recruiting opportunities for employers to engage in prospective candidates and use these skills-first framework to really see the students in action, really get to see what they're capable of and able to bring to the table for your evaluation. This experiential recruiting approach is time-tested and proven. And along the way, we've improved it to make it accessible for early career hiring. We've removed all the friction, the paperwork, and hassle that would usually exist. A lot of red tape happens when trying to bring on an intern for this audition kind of experience, and we really try to take care of that for you. And we also make it easy for you to capture the data and respond to the changing needs within your organization. Our platform captures a ton of data, data that can help you improve your early career recruiting and really can't be found anywhere else. It's able to use it to engage candidates, align to your roles, shows you how interested they are in your organization, provides insight on their skills, as well as all of these areas that are really important in a great hire, like their communication skills, problem solving, and most importantly to me, I think grit, right? That ability to continue to push through when there's maybe a challenge presented or facing something new in the project. This data aligns with the strategic goals of your organization, and again, able to share that data out with decision makers or folks that really do need to be a part of this process, and you're able to then guide your decisions based on the data as well. So we do this all in a way that directly benefits hiring managers, like many of you in the Zoom room today, and provides a ton of actionable insight for recruiting teams. And is quite honestly how candidates prefer to engage through real-world hands-on opportunities. As Cindy said, Ringling students are on average are making $500 right now on these engagements. They're excited to be compensated for their work. They're excited to put their skills into action for your organization live time, and it's just a win-win for everybody. Let's dig into some of the challenges that we've been addressing. So we know how difficult early career hiring programs are. Traditional early career hiring isn't working across the board. A majority of students are saying that the process doesn't let them demonstrate their skills, right? Just applying for an opportunity, again, to my point earlier, it could have just been, these are pretty words on a page, but can you do this, right? Let me see how you can do this position. What skills are you bringing to the table? On top of that, there's a lot of turnover, right? Nearly half of early career hires are leaving their first job within a year, and hiring managers are struggling to assess that real ability beyond the resume or a quick interview to be able to assess fit and skills. Cost of getting it wrong is high, right? Cost of hire is rising along with everything else right now, it feels like. And what's ironic is that one-click job applications were supposed to address this accessibility and cost, but they've kind of made costs higher, made the process more difficult because it's just causing that resume avalanche. So we're trying to help balance that, right? So employers are spending time and resources on candidates who ultimately don't stay because you've not been able to give them that full evaluation. And again, reneges are increasing. We're seeing that candidates accept offers, but then actually end up dropping out before start dates. And that's just not fun all around either. Again, stakes are higher than ever. What's your plan? Are we hoping that candidates stay, or are we thinking about how we can assess their fit earlier in that process? Instead of maybe relying on static resumes, how can you evaluate candidates based on their real work? Micro-internships let you assess candidates before making a major hiring investment. Again, these are short-term engagements. So making sure that you're able to put in a little bit of time now for those long-term gains. I see a question here about bandwidth on the internet. Okay, perfect. Cindy, we're able to see the screen, right? Nobody else is having screen viewing issues?
I can see it.
Okay, perfect.
Um,
Sorry, Marielle. Hopefully with the recording, you'll be able to see the slides and everything, and we'll share those out as well. So beyond looking at the traditional playbook, companies can have candidates who are excited, right? Before they set foot on campus for a career fair, you're able to start getting a look at the students, right? So that's what's kind of fun about this process too, and making it work what's best for you. You're able to even get the students' interest and then maybe follow up with them at the career fair. I had a company a couple of weeks ago that I talked with who they hosted a project for students across even 10 different schools, some that they didn't engage with normally and some that they did. They happened to pick a student from a campus that they do recruit at their career fair, and they got to meet live time after the project and continue that relationship and nurturing opportunity. So it can really help to strengthen those relationships and help you target the students a little bit better. and they maybe even want to come to the info sessions, right? We want to make sure if we're taking time to have Cindy book a room on campus and have an info session going, we want to see the maximum number of students attending. So when you've got a micro internship out there, they can hear about it a little bit more in detail. And again, you can see the students who are really most interested in hearing from you all. Be able to reach first or second year students when they're most hungry to explore these career paths, right? So you're able to really connect with students who are really at the beginning of their career journey, exploring different fits, and able to get to them before they've gone either way, right? And able to shape them into the skills or requirements that you have, or again, expose them to different industries, because we all care about early career exploration and helping students find those right fits. So this is a great way to be able to support those earlier students. And again, if you have those last minute requests from a hiring manager that says, oh my gosh, I need to fill this opportunity so quickly, this is a great way to fill those last minute spots because you can quickly get, again, a good number of students who meet the skills and requirements that you have and have that opt-in interest. Candidates that are excited after your visit, you're able to look at all of these stats and data and information based on graduation years. So again, really able to build this into your strategy a bit on, okay, which kinds of candidates is this role attracting, right? Are we getting a lot of first year students? Is it mostly seniors? Oh my gosh, we got a lot of people who graduated last year. That's interesting. Why is that happening? And really getting to dive into the data on what is, working in your goals. So yeah, it's fun to see all of these insights, like I said, that you can get from the projects. This is kind of a glimpse of the different projects as you've posted them. So again, this is with our recruiter view on some different levels, and you're able to see all of the projects that you've had, who you've hired for everything, and the status of the project. This is, again, really great to be able to track all of the different projects that you're hosting in live time. And of course, we all love feedback, right? So we request that both the candidates and the hosts to fill out some feedback at the end of every micro internship to really assess these skills, right? So you're able to say, how did the student do in this engagement? And they're able to reflect on how did I do in these areas as well to continue to build on their strengths and also help you see throughout time. Maybe you've worked with the same student on a couple of different micro internships and you can see how they've improved or changed throughout the process. I love our reach, right? So we're talking about Ringling students right now here in Florida. That's also where I'm at. Hi. But again, we've got more than 800 partner institutions across the country. So depending on your goals, or again, maybe the Ringling student attends school here in Florida, but they're really from a different state. You're able to reach them with micro internships, which are traditionally and mostly remote opportunities, right? So you're able to connect with them from anywhere. Looking at the experiential recruiting model, right? So it's the intersection of skills-based hiring and employer branding. It helps organizations cut through the noise and reach candidates that are aligned with your goals. And then it gives you the insights on those skills, helps you improve those decision-making processes. You're not just hiring and thinking about not hiring, but really those earlier stage decisions that usually you're just kind of looking at GPA or major, right? That's kind of the information that you get offhand in a traditional application process. But when you're able to see the work that a student has done in your micro internship, you can evaluate their skills better in addition to those other pieces of information that might be important for your organization. And in this economic environment, it also gives you data to not only directly support your work, but also highlight and showcase it to other parts of the organization. You can share with other departments why early career programs are vital to your strategic success, how it aligns to different initiatives, whether it be around AI or something else that you're having the student work on, and able to really bring that to the larger team. So how do we do this? So Micro-internships are the answer. Overlap through everything. As I said at the beginning, this experiential recruiting approach is time-tested and proven. Like I said, we've just been doing it for 10 years, but we haven't invented experiential recruiting, right? It's kind of always been around, but we're here to make it improved and accessible for both the students and you as hiring teams. We did it by pioneering micro-internships. We took the paperwork hassle and other friction out of the way so both parties can learn and move fast. Again, there's not too much red tape in creating your accounts, getting a project posted, and then starting to receive your candidates and look through their applications and even getting kicked off. So, want to go ahead and show you a bit more of what things are looking like. Again, projects are based on what you're interested in, right? So do you need something for a short-term role, maybe something a little bit meatier, more on that 40-hour length? And that's where things are a bit different in a micro internship versus a traditional internship. It's based on that, how long will it take the student to complete these deliverables? Not so much, we want somebody for a whole semester. Let's talk about what they're doing so I can assess their skills. Let's look at an example here. So if you're targeting maybe an entry-level data marketer, right? This is a way for you to be able to take that position and break it down into different project ideas that are those short-term opportunities. So again, if you want them to gather, analyze, and report marketing data, boom. A great project for that is giving them some data to clean up, whether that is real data that you want to have manipulated or some dummy data that you have that you just like to see the skills that they're able to bring to the table. You're able to kind of give that bite-sized taste to the student on what is this job really going to entail, as well as seeing what will they be able to do if they were brought in tomorrow for this job or longer term internship. And again, if you're not sure, how can I make this thing into a micro internship? That's what our team is here to support you with too. So if you know you have a need for a role to be filled, but you're not sure how to apply that to the platform, please let us know. Another example, I could list these all day, right? So we've got a production operator, right? So you can look at maybe they need some help with a new manual, right? So you can have them create that new training manual that documents the most important things that a new employee might need to know about a specific piece of equipment or technology. And that's kind of win-win too, because the student then is also learning more about the organization and your needs through the project. So not only are they demonstrating their ability to build this out, but they're also learning about your internal needs. We've got developer pieces. Again, a lot of people go right to what can students do online aside from developing or aside from coding. Well, they can do this, of course. A big piece in the space is AI research. How is AI applied to our organization? How can it improve what we do here? So you're able to have students do that. Emphasize leveraging AI to innovate and improve client solutions, aligning everybody's goals. So to skills-based hiring is skills-based hiring. Sorry guys, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Every step of the way with skills-based hiring, you're getting to get these insights. It's not just technical, but it's also the core skills that are making the difference in this selection process. It's not a new step or an additional assessment. It's built right into the process here at Parker Dewey. So again, unlike the one-click applications, you're getting a preview of the grit and the level of interest when students are applying. Unlike a phone screen, you're getting to see the communication lifetime when they're completing the process, whether that's through the application, through their profile, through any messages that you're having for additional clarification and screening. And again, you don't always have to interview. You can if you want. But unlike a traditional interview, you're seeing the problem solving and professionalism from the actual work product that the student's able to present. Again, are they turning around the product within the time frame of the project, right? Are they doing it with clarity? Are they asking questions along the way that help them to provide the better product? Or do they just kind of turn something in without seeking additional clarification, right? So you're really able to assess how is this person going to work within the team, um, and really get that full scope of how they're interacting in the workplace through this short-term engagement. So we're going to go ahead into why is this working, right? Why are students willing to even do this? This works because it's how students want to be recruited. Again, I know that we've all been there before and been young professionals and thinking about, man, I wish I got paid for that internship. That would have been nice. Or I really wish I could just show them if they would just give me a shot. You know, maybe I had a bad semester, my GPA was a little low, but I know I could do this internship. Um, so we're really listening to the students. Companies can spend less time and effort trying to figure out how to get these students to engage, and they're right here because they want to show you what they can do. 95% of students said that this is how they want to be recruited. They want to learn about your companies. They want to demonstrate their skills for you. Uh, I've just got Hamilton in my head right now, right? Don't let them waste their shot. They want to know. They want to be able to show what they've got. And it allows you to respond to when they want to be recruited, right? So a beautiful thing about the platform is you're not just going to, it's not a resume book. You're not just going to get every student on here. You're going to get the students who are interested in your organization and in the positions that you're able to provide. So they're introduced to you, maybe even as a first or second year student. It's much more effective than changing the mind of a senior who really thinks that they have it all figured out, right? As we all once did, and are looking at some specific organizations or roles. You're really able to help to provide that breadth of opportunity for these underclassmen as well. And unlike telling the sophomore who visits your career fair booth to apply next year or inviting them to an info session, you can keep them engaged along the way. This is a great way to keep those candidates warm who you might not have otherwise had opportunities for. And along the way, demonstrating their skills. Again, I mentioned before, you can work with a student a couple of times and really see the growth that they've created, maybe even summer over summer or semester over semester. And again, create that competitive advantage for yourself in converting and lowering the risk of those reneges. A student who has had multiple opportunities with you and gotten to get to know you, your team, how you're working, is only going to get more interest and connection to your organization. And again, the students are getting paid. They want to get paid, but it's really not that much compared to if they were working a part-time job for the semester, right? It's really a couple $100 for them that makes a difference in their education and usually a smaller dent on the organization's cost in cost per hire. And this ensures that all students are having access to, so every opportunity on Parker Dewey is paid. They stated that we've all seen about paid opportunities versus unpaid opportunities, but it's something that we really believe on because when opportunities are paid, all students have access. They don't have to say, well, I can't do that because I can't afford to not get paid for my time, right? Time is the most valuable asset that we all have as humans, and students are aware of that. Again, they're working, they are studying, maybe they're leaders in their campus organizations, and giving up a few hours of those other responsibilities is a big deal. So we want to make sure that they're compensated for that. And then again, once a student says, hey, I did this micro internship with XYZ company and they paid me, that's going to get around campus, right? So you're going to get some great word of mouth from the students that you've engaged with because, again, not every opportunity out there is compensating them for their time, but you are. So you're really able to build that cloud on campus too. So what does this all mean for you, right? You're able to reach students that are aligned to your goals, including those that you might not have otherwise met. Maybe they didn't have time to go to the career fair, right? Maybe they had a lab at that time, and that's 3 whole hours, right? You're able to gain insights into skills even before interviews, again, seeing what they can bring to the table, maybe even inviting them, right? You say, okay, you do this micro internship, and then of the 10 students that we've looked at, we're going to give 5 an interview because those are the 5 that have demonstrated the skills that we really like to see. You're able to keep students engaged after those on-campus events. Again, maybe you flip it. Maybe you say, hey, Students who talk with us at the career fair, you're invited to apply for our micro-internship, and you'll be given preference, right, over other students who have applied. And you're able to gain a competitive advantage in making the right hires for your organization through all of this. So I want to show you some examples of different organizations who have participated, their challenges, and their outcomes, right? So this first example is a leading hospital system who hosted some micro-internships. They had two key challenges, right? Competition for allied health roles and driving interest by students, including those not thinking about the company. Before visiting campus, they posted the micro-internships so that they had them ready to go and share with the students. And then they were able to see a significant increase in the student engagement, right? So they posted a bunch of different roles based on their needs. They were able to use the insights to improve collaboration with focus schools. And then again, provided a competitive advantage in conversation. Not every other hospital system at that career fair is offering these opportunities. So they're able to really attract those students, especially for the roles that have a very niche area with limited candidates. Before setting foot on campus, you have a pool of students who are excited to visit your booth or info session, right? So not just the allied health roles, but also from other areas, right? So again, you're able to look at these different areas of majors that the students are coming from, different class years, and again, looking at the feedback that you've been able to provide on their performance. You had the insights on the students up front. You're able to focus on certain ones based on those skills, or again, geographic ties to your organization. Maybe you have different locations, right? So you're able to say, oh, well, so-and-so is on campus here and in this local area, but they actually, again, they have family and intend to move back to this other area in the future. And we also have a site there. How great. We're able to communicate with that part of the team and let them know this is what the student can bring to the table. And again, even if you can't be at the campus for these things, same playbook applies. You can keep candidates engaged after events. Again, have great students show up to the event or express interest. Even if you're not on campus, you can tell them online, hey, we're gonna be advertising this opportunity. Maybe you want to focus on certain class years, right? Even though you traditionally looked at those juniors, seniors, maybe you want to, again, focus, as I was saying earlier, on the first or second years for these micro-internships versus the summer internship that you have reserved for those juniors, right? Start evaluating them early. We know that students aren't responding to those generic emails that are being sent out, right? Saying, hey, everybody, here's some information. And they don't have time to go to every single interest webinar in their industry. And this is a way to really have those auditions and target the students that you're looking for. And again, those hiring managers, like many of you in the room, have that early look at the candidates along the way. In this case, this organization reached students from over 1,000 schools, including candidates aligned from difficult geographies that maybe they had a hard time getting to before and really connecting with. They were able to successfully fill open roles with 100% first year retention. When I first learned this case, I was blown away personally. I was like, what? They had 100% of the students who participated that they ended up staying long term throughout that first year. That's just incredible. Again, we know how much time and money is invested in these opportunities, in getting students onboarded to these new roles. And that's a significant saving in time and energy and money, resources across the board. More information, here's a sample student, and the ability that they were able to really kind of break down the experience, right? I love this. You can see here from the screenshot, she graduated college about a year ago. Not long after that, she took a job. After that, she was assigned to a specific team. And then she was able to do everything within that team, all because she had done a micro internship with the organization and got that pre-exposure to them. And again, managers, in their words, didn't waste time interviewing the wrong folks. They already had their short list of candidates that they knew they had pre-screened through these skills-based opportunities to be able to really have confidence in offering those positions. And look how amazing that the experience is for the candidates. In this case, again, improving that sourcing, right, and selection process. So there's a national fitness chain with a strong brand recognition, but many of the candidates weren't aware of their corporate roles, right? Maybe they think that there's just those spaces at the fitness gyms in general, but not about those other roles that keep everything going. That's something I talked with a lot of students when I was a career advisor, right? Is that, hey, everybody has accounting, everybody has marketing. It might be a health food company, but they also have needs for the HR team, right? So they have everything. It's not just focused on the industry. Think about the skills. Think about what skills every company needs. And the companies are trying to scream that from the mountaintops as well. And again, getting students from every major. I was talking with the school the other day. They said, "Oh, can I sort stuff by my major?" And we're like, "Actually, no, we don't let anybody do that because it's skills based. We want everybody to see everything that they might be interested in based off of what is this role offering, right? What is needed? Do I have the skills needed for this?" And then being able to move forward. I know we're getting short on time here, so I'm going to click through my next few different pieces. Again, these will all be shared out. And wanting to give you some screenshots of the data that's accessible to you all through the platform. Again, really getting to break down where these students are coming from, what kinds of students your roles are attracting, and again, really putting on those cost savings for your organization. You see those immediate results through this process. And again, you're able to scale it not only from your department but throughout the company very easily. So we built this tool to give you the power to support your recruiting goals, a new way to engage students, gain these insights, and not just have access to the candidates, but the data that surrounds them and their skills. For companies that have established campus recruiting methods, this plugs right in. You're able to get the most of your recruiting efforts, whether you're on campus or off campus. And those that don't have right now a large practice or have a large recruiting team or budget, this helps you to drive that success with the fewer resources that you have at your disposal currently. So we're happy to be another tool in your tool belt there. So how do you put all of this into action? Being able to see the impact of everybody, right? So again, I won't bother reading through every piece of data on this slide. We'll send it all out. This is all data from NACE and National Bureau of Labor Statistics, showing those retention pieces, cost per hire for campus recruiting. So with Ringling Micro-Internships, you're able to get funding from a foundation that we have partnered with to recruit Ringling students. So any of you who have those recruiting goals and you're looking to hire these wonderful students, we actually have some funding available to support you with that. So you would actually be able to enhance your recruiting here at Ringling at no cost to your organization during this time. You're able to, again, get all of the insights that we just talked about and engage with these students at any point during this process. So what you get through the funded program is access to this pool of high quality candidates from Ringling. You're able to get support from our team, like I mentioned earlier. If you have a role but you're not sure how to apply it to a micro internship, we're here to support you in that process and helping you to really make the application everything that you need it to be to attract the right students, to make sure that they have the skills that you're looking for, and then at the end of the day, get that data. And most roles are getting filled very quickly. As opposed to the traditional hiring process, you might say, okay, well, I need an intern in about a month, so I should post 3 months prior. No, you can post a micro internship today, get candidates today, and even select somebody today if you wanted to. But again, if you want to give it some time, I tend to recommend that so that all the students can see it. Give Cindy some time to share the opportunity on campus, okay, guys? And then you're able to get an even wider breadth of candidates. So how to get started, if you'd like, you're welcome to connect with our team for some additional meetings and a demo request to go through the platform one-on-one. You're able to send us your job description if you'd like for, again, support in paring it down to a micro internship. And again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to our team. Sorry, I went a little bit over today, everybody. I am a chatty one.
There
Any
is
other
a question in
questions?
the
Oh,
chat.
perfect. Oh, and that you're seeing medical company sites. Yep, that was just one example of an organization who had found success. That data wasn't necessarily tied to Ringling students. Thank you for the question, Suzanne. Any other questions? I'll go ahead and stop the recording here. And I can